What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today is the day. It is finally here, the long awaited Banks Derringer for the 2024-2025 L5P Duramax. Now they're claiming an additional 86 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque to the wheels, above and beyond a stock L5P Duramax. We did also purchase a DRAGY Pro. Stay tuned till the end of the video. We're going to see how those numbers translate into the real world. Now the Dually does already have both the iPro and a pedal monster installed in it, but today we'll also be installing a set of Banks map sensor spacers or the Banks map sensor relocation kit, both upper and lower. The link for all three of these items will be in the description. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So what we've got in the box. First, Derringer high output system. We do have the Derringer device itself. And then Banks does include this little bypass plug used for diagnostics, store in the glove box. They're very, very adamant about swapping these out when you go to the dealer. So if you're going for an oil change or something, you're gonna wanna remove the tuner, the Derringer, and install this little bypass plug, which will give you the ability to read some extra diagnostic stuff up on the iPro. And then quick preface before we get into the rest of the stuff. I am not going to pretend to be an expert. To be real, I have no idea what most of this stuff is, but that's what YouTube's for. We're going to figure this stuff out together. Looks like this is going to be the main harness that connects to the Derringer itself. This will probably come through the firewall, get hooked up to either the pedal monster or the iPro. And then this is going to be the main harness for the Derringer. So one side's going to get hooked up to the Derringer, and then these are all going to go and bypass some of the other sensors. So this is going to be one of the injectors, it looks like. We've also got the map as well as the MAF in here somewhere. MAF right here. And then last but not least, FRP, whatever that is. Fuel rail pressure sensor, maybe. Just a guess. I will throw some text up over the screen if I am wrong. That's going to be installed in conjunction with the Banks map sensor relocation kit, also known as the map sensor spacer kit. We do have both the upper and lower, maybe the upper and lower, not sure which is which, as well as some included bolts, and they gave us a little Allen wrench, which is nice. Last but not least is the DRAGY. Never actually seen one of these in person. I was pretty shocked by how small it is. This is the Pro, so it did come with the included windshield suction cup mount. It's in that little box there. All right, guys, let's get into it. All right, one of the first things we're gonna do is disconnect the negative battery terminals. Passenger side is gonna be an 11 mil. And the fat one on the driver's side is going to be a 1/2 inch. Now that we've got both of the batteries disconnected, the next thing we're going to be doing is disconnecting the harness for the upper sensor and then removing the upper sensor altogether. So yeah, we're going to start by removing this upper harness. You're going to pull back on this little gray clip, press down on the clip as you remove the harness from the sensor itself. Next thing we're going to do is take a 10 milli. Move this baby here. And then to get the sensor loose, give it a little jiggle. Pull it out. There's only 5,000 miles on this truck and it is filthy. I'm not sure if you guys saw all that soot. But yeah, we're gonna spray this thing off and clean it out. So they don't actually make map sensor cleaner. So we're going to be using MAF sensor cleaner. You do not want to use brake cleaner or any other type of weird solvent on these. And what you're going to want to do is spray this bad Larry until the sensor itself, as well as the little plastic cage around it, is pretty much soot free. Actually cleaned off pretty easy. Pretty. Probably torching my grass right here, but nice clean sensor. Next thing we're going to be doing is taking the sensor and sliding it into the relocation kit, the little spacer here. Then we're going to be taking one of these included bolts, T30 I believe, slide it into the little hole. We'll get it hand tight first. And we'll take the included little tool, crank that baby down. Sensor is going back into the little hole. The O-ring was pre-installed. I did not have to install the O-ring into this bad Larry. Just making sure there's no dust sitting up there. Take our included T30 bolt, slide it in, get it finger tight. Tough to do with the rubber gloves. For me at least, I'm obviously not a professional mechanic. But this stuff can be done yourself. No crazy tools. We're in the driveway. At first that felt pretty loose, but it feels nice and snug now. Don't want to over torque it. Then we're going to go ahead, plug the sensor back in. Hear a little click. Push that tab back down. It's locked in. Now this is the next one we're going to be replacing. Going to be a quick rinse and repeat. All right guys, so that's it for the sensor relocation kit. 1 and 2 installed. On to the next part of the Derringer install. All right, so first sensor we're going to intercept is going to be the mass airflow. We're going to pull up on that little red button, push down on the little black lever behind it, pull that out. And then whatever side this is going to go in to intercept. And then we'll plug this one in. Got to plug it in properly. Get a little click on both of those. All right, sensor to intercept number 2 is going to be the map sensor. If your truck is a 23 or newer like mine, you're going to have 2. We're going to be intercepting the bottom one. If your truck is a 22 or older, I guess you're only going to have 1. It's the top one, so replace that one. Again, if you got 2, replace the bottom one. Same process as before. Pull up on this little red tab. We'll push down on this little lever. Wiggle this little thing out. Might be easier with 2 hands. Didn't have that little red thing pulled up all the way. There we go. A little click, push down. Slight click, push down. Sensor number 3, fuel rail pressure. Pull up on that little red tab, and then the lever for this one's kind of in the middle. And push down the little lever, disconnect, rinse and repeat, baby. Same process as the last few. All right, so now that we've got sensors 1, 2, and 3, we're gonna do the injector connector, which is way the hell down there. I'm gonna start by kind of draping the harness over towards the driver's side of the cab. Whoa! Totally just fell off my gosh darn step. Almost bust a swore and got demonetized right there, YouTube. Talk about restraint. Having a baby will help you control your swears. Gosh darn it. All right, anyways, so yeah, this is gonna go over towards the driver's side of the cab. This is eventually gonna get plugged into said Derringer. And then this bad Larry is our injector connector, Inspector Gadget. Injector connector. I don't know why that's so much fun to say. The injector connector is gonna be down there to the left of the dipstick. let's see if this will focus. Only got 4x zoom, but I think you can see that little red tab. People have been complaining about how hard this specific connector is, so I'm gonna try and get a good little view and see if we can make this ish look easy. Let's get it. All right, I've literally got the camera tied to circuit box and my little O-light, pocket light, pause, attached to my hat, trying to get this clip. All right, they say you need to use tools. You're probably gonna need to use tools. I call bullshit. I think I'm gonna be able to get this out on my own. I've been wrong before. However, don't think I'm wrong right now. We'll see. So first thing I gotta do, without knocking my camera over, is pull this little red safety harness out. I got it, but man, that little fudger is in there. All right, maybe I am wrong. Maybe I will need to use a little pick. It's funny, half this time I've been happy to have my resonator up here just because it's been nice to balance the little tripod on. Now, man, this thing is in the way, especially with the camera sitting here. I've already fallen off my little step stool once, and I've also got a second step stool stacked on top of my step stool. Oh shit, I got it. So now I guess that presses down. Oh man, we got it. No tools needed. Probably could have used one hand. What's up? Nope. Almost tipped over my stack of step stools. I should have just went and grabbed the ladder. All right, not for nothing, getting this thing in is proving to be way harder than getting it out. That thing is fixed down there. I thought it was sliding away from me, but it's definitely just my imagination. It's pretty much impossible to see while your hand is in there. I might have just got it from the side. When in doubt, always go in from the side. Lesson for you guys right there. The side is the way to go, side of the back. And we are close. Oop, I think we got it. So close. So close. Man, it's in. Safety clip is not. All right, got a click pushing it in. Now we're gonna try and push in this little safety clip. I'm pretty sure it should go. Yep. And then that little button. Let's go, baby. This one will be nice and easy. Which one is the top? Which one is the bottom? So again, little click, the button, safety. Both those, no tools. Let's go. All right, so my Derringer did come with the termination cap pre-installed. Next thing we're gonna be doing is inserting the starting cable. There are a couple of notches on both sides, so it's pretty easy to make sure that these are lined up properly. Once you have it fully seated, you'll be able to go ahead and turn that little locking ring, and you'll kind of feel it torque itself down. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna plug the harness itself into the Derringer. Now I'm doing this before I zip tie anything down, just because I wanna make sure everything fits, everything reaches, I'm able to get it through the pass-through that I want, and then I'm able to zip tie it up as cleanly as possible. And if I've gotta unplug anything to reroute anything, it's easier to do before I put zip ties on and have to cut them off. All right, so Derringer, termination cap, starter cable, engine harness. All right, so it's like basically impossible to see with a light like this, but there is a piece of foam that goes between from that door jamb to back here. So you're gonna want the cable to come down
Not way up here, not down here, but as close to this bottom port as humanly possible. So I've got mine popping out right at this port. I just pulled this little thing out right here. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cut a little hole in this rubber little thing. It's been a long day. It's 110 degrees out. I'm hot. I don't know what this thing's called. Grommet, maybe? I don't even know. So we're basically just gonna put a little X in this. This blade is plenty sharp. I'm just trying to not cut myself. Cool. So we got just enough to stick our little connector through. Cool. All right, so now that we've got this here, we're gonna be removing all of these trim pieces. I may or may not be able to get the tripod over here to see it, but yeah, this is coming out, this is coming out, this is coming out, as well as this weather stripping. Starter cable coming through the foam here. Comes down through the back of that power wire or whatever that hose looking thing is. Goes through that grommet. I did remove these trim pieces already as well. Then it comes through this hole here. Right there. So, here's where it gets tricky. If you have a pedal monster, or if you're installing this with a pedal monster, you're gonna do what I'm doing next. If you're not installing this with a pedal monster and you're just doing the Derringer with an I-dash, have fun, you get to pull your A-pillar off again. So this is going to go up through here. Again, if you're only doing I-dash and Derringer. Pull this off, up through here, take off your grab handle, pull off the A-pillar. It's gonna get connected to your I-dash Pro. But mine's already set up. My pedal monster's been set up for a while. So what we get to do is just take the starter cable and plug it directly into the pedal monster. Super easy. We've got our pedal monster. I-dash cable is the top one. This bottom one is for the Derringer. So we've got it coming through. And then what I'm gonna do is probably pull the rest of this slack back towards the engine bay, just because I've already got hella wire down here. So we'll probably just push this. Actually, nah, I'm not gonna leave it in the door. The last thing I need is a rattle. That would drive me freaking crazy. All right, so I'm gonna pull this back through. So we've got just enough to access. Is my mic on? Yeah, it is, bet. The pedal monster. All this is gonna go back through the door and then zip tied up in the engine bay. Try and get this thing to look as clean as possible. Put these couple of trim pieces on. This thing will be installed. All right, so wire is tucked up out of the way. Trim pieces are back. Time to clean up the engine bay. All right, so we got everything finished up. Got the negative terminals back on both batteries. Got everything zip tied in place. All the wires are away from anything that'll get hot, so we should be good there too. I got the Derringer right between the battery on the driver's side and these fuses. Should be good, shouldn't rattle around much. Nothing to it but do some driving, test this thing out. Let's go. All right, so 0 to 30, 3.94 seconds, 0 to 60, 9.24 seconds. Man, not bad. Those were with the, again, pedal commander and the Derringer in their stock settings. So that'll kind of be our baseline. We were in four-wheel drive. I felt like we might have spun a little bit
but if so, not a ton. All right, so with the pedal commander on sport level 5, no Derringer, our 0 to 60 time was 8.89, and our 0 to 30 was 3.8 even, and we spun the shit out of all 4 tires. Yeah, I gotta say, bang for the buck, that pedal monster is serious. All right, this is gonna be just the Derringer level 6. No pedal monster, definitely spun tires. Zero to 30 was 406. 0 to 60 was 887. Was that faster than the pedal monster? Man, I don't know if that felt faster than just the pedal monster. We definitely spun all 4 tires again. All right, final run is going to be both pedal monster and the Derringer, and I got to pick the GoPro up off the floor. All right, so for this last run, we got the Derringer on level 6. We've got the pedal monster on sport 5. I just have to drive around this island in the middle of the road, and then we'll reset. All right, we're around the island. Wheels are straight. Nobody's coming. Oh yeah, major spin, all 4 wheels. And there's 60, 359, cooking. So yeah, 0 to 30 was 359. And then 0 to 60 was 842. That was with Derringer level 6, pedal monster sport 5. That was definitely our fastest 0 to 60 time. Our fastest 0 to 30 time, and definitely the most wheel spin that we had. Again, this is a 1-ton pickup on 38-inch mud tires, 28-inch wheels, 9-inch lift, probably close to 10,000 pounds. So we weren't looking to see how fast this was going to actually go. We were just looking to see the improvements, and to be honest, I think those numbers are pretty respectable. Given that these are just little plug-and-play items, we're not changing a whole lot in the truck. So given the fact that you can feel that much of a difference, I think is pretty noteworthy. So yeah, I definitely recommend the pedal monster. I'd recommend the Derringer as well, but if you're on the fence between the two, just from a cost standpoint, I'd probably pick up the pedal monster first, but cop both if you can. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, share. We appreciate it. Thank you.